In the headlines, terrorists storm Katsina community, abduct over 30 residents. Court nullifies 800 billion naira rebus budget passed by pro-Fubara lawmakers. Lagos short or KFA Katanga markets for floating environmental laws. On the foreign sea, Boakye sworn in as new Liberia president after victory over Weah. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. And now the news in full, where we begin with insecurity as terrorists reportedly numbering over 100 on Sunday stormed Tesharnagule, a community in Bazari local government area of Katsina State, and abducted 31 residents. Bazari has seen a resurgence in terrorist activities in recent weeks, featuring twin attacks on security formations last week. In one of the attacks, 2 mobile police officers were killed by the terrorists who burned down 2 vehicles of the Nigerian army in the other attack. A religious leader said the attackers surrounded the community before some of them entered through the main exit that leads to the main road. He said the terrorists left their motorcycles outside the community and trekked in. According to the source, residents began gathering at the community center, not knowing that the attackers, some of them wearing military camouflage, were not soldiers. The religious leader said after the terrorists had cycled them, they told them to follow them into the forest. He said he slipped out of the group and ran back into his house. The police are yet to react to the incident. Now joining us via phone is Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi. Abdullahi, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Rahman, thank you for being there.
Yeah, and what do we know about this attack that clearly resulted in the abductions of 30 residents of Bazari?
Well, at the moment, the number has risen to 33 people that were abducted from Tesharnagule in Bazari local government. And like you said, the attackers kept their motorcycles some kilometers away from the community before they went into the village and launched that attack. According to reports from some of the villagers who spoke to Trust TV this afternoon, they said the attackers kept their motorcycles at a point near Kurmiel, all in Bazari local government here in Katsina State. And one thing people need to know is that Katsina-Bazari road has been one of the notorious routes in Katsina State. Just a few days ago, when some terrorists who dressed in this abaya attacked a police checkpoint where they killed 2 policemen. And just of recent, they attacked a military base at Dansunsu and Nakuta, all in Bazari local government. So this is one of the daily occurrence as far as terrorism or banditry is concerned here in Katsina State.
Now, and we understand the security agencies as of yet have not said anything concerning to react on the incident.
Well, of course, I have made several attempts to reach the public relations officer of Katsina State Police Command, but he has not been responding to my calls. And according to some of the villagers, they decry the inaction of the police, or rather the security operatives operating around that area, whom they say they have made distress calls to them, but they responded hours after the attack. So this is one of the things that many people have been complaining about. Anytime there is any attack in any community, this issue of inaction, not responding on good time, is one of the major constraints.
All right, Yamadi. So even at the time when it happened, the prior attacks that this number of bandits were attacking joint military camp in Katsina State, were there any visible moves you have seen so far that made them in order to curtail and prevent such kind of occurrence of bandits coming in and out of Zamfara, attacking military joint as well as residents of that local government?
Well, a few hours after the Nahuta attack, where bandits numbering about 500 invaded Nahuta village, cut away a number of valuables, displaced residents, and of course, wrestled about 300 cows. We learned that there was a deployment of some security personnel at the community and some other villages along Basari Katsina Road with the support of other equipment like armored personnel carrier. But yet this thing still continue to escalate. It continued to persist because what the villagers had been saying is not the issue of military or the personnel that are there, but what can they do to protect them from this bandits attack? That is the question. So long as there are equipment, there are personnel, but they cannot protect the villages and the communities, it makes nothing. It makes no difference.
All right, Abdullahi Yamadi is our reporter in Katsina State. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you so much.
Now moving on. Adamawa State Deputy Governor Professor Caleb Tawab Farauta has mandated 70 registered hotels to install CCTV cameras within 6 months of first closure following the recent tragic killing of a woman at Happy Day Hotel in Target Junction, Jamaica Yola, on January 19, 2024. Expressing dissatisfaction, Deputy Governor Farauta emphasized citizen safety as the top priority of the government during an emergency meeting with hospitality business owners at Government House, Yola. Samuel Adwata, state chairman of the Hoteliers Association, commended the government's decisive action, pledging the union's cooperation to prevent future incidents. Police Public Relations Officer SP Suleiman Ngoroje urged the public to provide timely information, assuring the police commitment to maintaining peace and stability in the state.
After 6 weeks, if you don't have the CCTV in your hotel, motel, lodge, whatever name it is, the government will have the right to take its decision, because the services you're rendering, you're doing them on behalf of this government and its citizens. And the drugs they push through your places, those drugs can reach the hands of your own son and my own son. So why would you allow your hotel to be the place where those drugs are pushed through? If you put yourself as a parent, as a hotel owner, you have your children, you want to send them to the best school, you want them to be the best behaved. So why do you allow your hotel to be the place where other people's children, especially their lives, will be wasted because you're looking for money? I'm sure that can be called blood money. And that is not fair, and that is not acceptable to us as a government.
We really appreciate the intervention of the government. Her Excellency, on behalf of the hotel in the state, all your contributions, your observations are noted, assuring you we will put heads together to see a way forward and to protect this public situation.
In the meantime, the Kaduna State government has confirmed the death of one person after an explosion in Kidanden community of Giwa local government area on Sunday. 10 children were injured following the explosion, suspected to be from an improvised explosive device. According to preliminary reports from the traditional institution and security agencies, one of the pupils of a local cleric picked up an object from the bush, which later exploded. Meanwhile, a statement by Samuel Andriod, the overseeing commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, said one pupil, Zaid Usman, has been confirmed dead, while about 10 injured victims are receiving medical attention at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika. The statement, according to Arwan, further stated that the state governor Obasani has directed the Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs to liaise with security agencies for an urgent investigation into the cause of the explosion, ensure the safety of residents, mobilize emergency support, and ensure prompt medical attention to victims. The federal government says it is awaiting the outcome of a forensic investigation ordered to ascertain the cause of a tragic explosion that rocked Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, last week. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, made this known in a statement on Sunday by his aide, Segun Tomore. On January 16, 2024, an explosion rocked the Bodija area of the ancient city, which building blown off due to terrific vibration. Governor Seyi Makinde had said preliminary investigations by security agencies revealed that the blast was caused by illegal miners occupying one of the houses in Bodija. At least 5 persons have been confirmed dead and scores injured in the last wave, while many buildings were destroyed. On Sunday, the Solid Minerals Ministry said mine inspectorate officers have been deployed to the scene of the explosion to join other security agencies to unravel the cause of the explosion. And Alake assured Nigerians that the federal government is committed to addressing challenges from the root, hence its resolve to await the outcome of painstaking forensic investigations on the Ibadan explosion before making a definite pronouncement. Now, on judicial matters, Justice James of the Federal High Court Abuja has nullified the 800 billion budget passed by the Edison Ehie-led group of the Rivers State House of Assembly and signed into law by the Rivers State Governor, pro-Fubara. The court also upheld the suit filed by the Assembly and Speaker Martin Amehole against Fubara, which sought an order of injunction restraining the governor from prostrating the Assembly under his leadership as Speaker. Among others, the Assembly and Amehole had challenged the presentation of the budget by Governor Fubara to 5 lawmakers and its subsequent passage. The presentation was done at the Government House in Port Harcourt, following the demolition of the Assembly complex by the state government and after a court restrained his contender, Martins Amehole, from using the Assembly complex. The judge said the purported seating of Ehie and 4 other lawmakers, as well as the presentation of the bill as void, and granted the order setting aside the purported appropriation bill signed, despite the interim order of his court restraining him. The judge also granted the order restraining the governor from continuing the demolition or construction of the River State building, adding all the acts of the governor with 4 lawmakers as a nullity, and ruled that he should go through the lawmakers presided by Amehole. In another development, a housewife in Bauchi State has appealed to the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Ebetokun to investigate the complaint she brought against the serving Deputy Immigration Superintendent Sani Muazu on alleged raping her in front of her children. The victim also, during an interview with Trust TV, lamented that the Commissioner of Police had failed to investigate her case but swiftly arrested her husband. Trust TV's Adamu Imam complete the reports.
The victim, a mother of 2, still in trauma after the police failed to investigate her complaint. Instead, they arrested and detained her husband Yusuf Samaila, allegedly on defamation of character. Frustrated by poor response from the Nigerian police, she approached a human rights organization, African Child Development and Human Rights Protection Bauchi, as well as legal practitioners seeking for justice. This accused Sani Saleh Muazu. They are from the same locality with my husband. They grew up together. That is how we met with him. He deceived my husband and collected so many things from him till everything finished. He took us to Bauchi and kept us. He defiled me in the presence of my children. I felt bad. My kids are not going to school. We have nothing to eat. Their father was detained for 11 days now. This is where we are now. They are taking care of us, feeding and shelter. We are from Zamfara. Later, we relocate to Kaduna and now Bauchi. They approached me and I gave them place to stay because we don't know who can render help to us in the future. She has 2 small children. She is a woman. If she is a man, it will have been different entirely. He can be anywhere. But a woman needs protection. Anything can happen to her. while she's in trauma. Speaking on the development, founder of African Child Development and Human Rights Protection, Barrister Muhammad Al-Qasim, decried Bauchi Commissioner of Police for failing to investigate a serious crime of such magnitude, while a human rights organization reminded and drew the attention of the police to their primary duty of protecting life and properties under Section 4 of the Nigerian Police Act.
To call or draw the attention of the Commissioner of Police, Bauchi Command, to rearrest the suspect, investigate properly, and then prosecute in accordance with the provisions and extant laws of Bauchi State and Nigeria at large.
Program is an issue of great magnitude, not only in Nigeria but in the whole world. Hence the reason why it must be given due consideration and it must be taken with all the kind of seriousness it deserves.
Reacting in a statement, the police public relations officer Ahmed Wakil said contrary to the claim of the civil society organization, the Commissioner of Police received a petition from G. Hassan and Co. dated December 12, 2023. According to him, the Commissioner of Police, Awal Muhammad, had directed the Deputy Commissioner in charge of Criminal Investigation Department to investigate the matter. He noted that it is a capital offense and investigation is still ongoing and that the outcome will be revealed to the public soon. On the arrest of the victim's husband, the PPRO disclosed that the command receives petition from Nazir Umar Chamba against the husband on aiding, abetting, kidnapping, and defamation of character against the rape accused person. Adami Mao, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And now the Lagos State government has sealed the Oke-Afa Market, Isolu and Katango Market, Abule Eba, for violating waste disposal regulations and for sundry unhygienic practices around the markets. The Director of Public Affairs of the Lagos State Waste Management Agency, LOMA, Folashade Kadiri, who disclosed this in a statement on Monday, said the closure of the markets is to curb mounting environmental health concerns. Commenting on the development, Folashade said the Commissioner for the Waste and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, noted that the government's zero tolerance for waste initiative, which started last year, was still on course, stressing that any market or facility engaging in reckless waste disposal will be sanctioned. The Managing Director, CEO of Loma Muyiwa Badejisin, urged various market executives to always mobilize their members to abide by waste management regulations, including the use of the double dino bins provided for markets and observance of hygienic habits in their activities. He warned that the Zero Tolerance Initiative will be pursued more vigorously this year, adding that markets that refuse to embrace basic and decent waste disposal practices will not escape sanctions. The Loma boss reiterated the agency's commitment to ensuring cleaner and healthier environment, stressing that cooperation from all stakeholders, including market operators and traders, was crucial. Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has put in place effective mechanisms to track and trace narcotic products right from production to the end user. A statement from the agency on Sunday said its Director General Mujesola Adeyeye made the disclosure while commissioning the Narcotic Drugs Serialization Pilot Project in Lagos. Adeyeye said the move was geared towards tackling the menace of drug and substance abuse in Nigeria, particularly amongst the teeming youth population. The NAFDAC DG said narcotics were chosen amongst other classes of drugs to mitigate drug abuse, adding that this will be replicated for all other NAFDAC-regulated drug products. According to her, one of the greatest challenges in the health care sector is the occurrence of substandard and falsified medicines. She said in Nigeria, the problem is further compounded by the chaotic drug distribution practices of unscrupulous elements who do not place a premium of human lives. You are still watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Imo residents decry decaying primary school structures across communities. Details of that and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. And here is a recap. Some of our top stories. Terrorists storm Katsina community, abduct over 30 residents. And court nullifies 800 billion naira rebus budget passed by pro-Fubara lawmakers. Now to more stories. The dilapidated state of infrastructure at the grassroots has become emblematic of the poor performance of government at community levels. This development means basic amenities like hospitals and schools are facing continued decay due to poor funding and neglect from state governments. Trust TV's Ajibade Press reports.
I am currently in one of the classrooms of the early year primary school, Nazi. The condition of it tells of the sorry state the primary education of the state finds itself.
Like this particular school, most of the government-owned primary schools in the state, especially the ones in rural areas, are in a deteriorating state, dilapidated, with no toilet for convenience, and where there is one, is often with no running water for effective usage. People in the state attributed the menace to bad governance and lack of functional local government system in place.
But we know that the local government councils have constitutional duties and responsibilities that they're supposed to be doing for us. And they are the closest government to the people. I remember when I was growing up as a child, I did not come to Owerri for anything. I went to my local government headquarters, Iho. That's where we did everything. We had a bank there. We had every service you needed. That's where we went to. But now we don't know what the local government people are supposed to do for us. So
it was something bad. So we're here for you to see what we've done and for you to take the message and tell the whole world that there is need for intervention in primary schools in the Southeast. And there is also need for intervention in health centers in the Southeast.
Thus, situation has made most parents and guardians to withdraw their children and wards from the public schools to private ones. Some of the children who are at the receiving end speak on the situation.
Look at the rates. It's spoiled and anyhow. No one's fix it. But private schools, once it's spoiled, they fix it. Look at the toilet. They don't have water system.
They have toilet too, but they put water, they spoil it. They have chairs, desks. Let them repair everything. Let them be desks, locker, chairs, and water.
In this school, I'll make it.
I want them to replace the zincs and the water system. We need water in this school.
Though there are efforts by the government to salvage the situation, just like this one behind me here, it was recently built for the school, the people of the community are equally hopeful that government will extend their hand to buildings like these and many others that cut across the state. This, they believe, if put in place, will provide the needed conducive environment for the learning of the children. It will also go to better the primary education of the state. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Now, away from Nigeria, Joseph Boakai was on Monday sworn in as Liberia's president following his election victory over former football star George Weah, with the challenge of tackling poverty and corruption. The 79-year-old narrowly beat former Ballon d'Or winner Weah in November's runoff poll, with 50.64% of the votes to 49.36%. He was sworn in for a 6-year term during a ceremony in Parliament in the capital Monrovia at 10 a.m. local time in the presence of several foreign leaders and diplomatic delegations. Boakai was vice president from 2006 to 2018 under Liberia's first female president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, before being beaten by Weah in the 2017 election. November's poll in the West African country was peaceful in a region that has seen a succession of military coups in recent years in Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Niger. Now, finally, on sports news, Mohamed Saleh will leave the Egyptian squad at the Africa Cup of Nations to continue treatment on a hamstring injury at his club Liverpool. The country's football association said on Sunday while hoping he will return to the tournament in Ivory Coast. The announcement comes after Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp said it makes sense for the 31-year-old to undergo treatment in England. Salah had already been ruled out of the Peru's crucial Group B clash against Cape Verde in Abidjan on Monday, and Egypt's last 16 match should they progress beyond the group stage. The Egyptian FA had initially hoped he would be back for an eventual quarter-final, but now appears resigned to being without him until a possible semi-final on February 7th. Klopp did leave the door open for Salah to return to the tournament should he prove his fitness while Egypt are still alive. After drawing their opening 2 games at the tournament, the record 7-time African champions need to beat already qualified Cape Verde to be guaranteed of qualifying for the last 16. Salah salvaged a 2-2 draw with Mozambique from the penalty spot in Egypt's opening game before limping off in the first half of the stalemate against Ghana. And with that, we have come to the end of Trust News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.